Hi guys, I'm a Forester here. This is the fourth in a series of videos that I'm making from these personal notes that I found in my father-in-law's belongings. The first video was about him joining the Marines after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The rest of the videos will be about his time at Parris Island. During a physical exam, we had to have our chest measured. The corpsman put the tape around my chest and told me to expand my chest. I did, and he dropped the tape. He put the tape around my chest again and said, "Expand." The corpsman exclaimed, "I don't believe this. Let's measure it again." He did and commented that I had the largest expansion he had ever seen. My expansion was a little over 5 inches. That was hard to believe because I only weighed 135 pounds at that time and was 6 feet tall. He also commented that I would never have to worry about TB. Part of our basic training was learning to shoot the rifles. At that time we were still using the old 1903 Springfield rifle. That was a good rifle, but you had to be very careful as to how you used it. During our training period we spent 2 weeks out on the rifle range learning all the fundamentals of the 1903 Springfield rifle and how to use it. Most of our time was spent snapping in. This consisted of how to hold your rifle, how to use the leather sling to keep the rifle from sliding up and down on your arm or sliding off your shoulder, how to line your sights up, how to use elevation for distance, and how to compensate for the wind. On our first time on the firing line, our instructor told us to get a firm grip on the rifle and to put your right thumb over and around the small part of the stock. He did not tell us how far up or how far back to place our thumb on the stock. If he did, I didn't hear him, so I had to learn it the hard way. The first time I fired the rifle, the hammer flew back, hit my thumb hit my nose, and from that time on I had a bloody nose for the rest of our stay on the rifle range. I did finally learn to keep my thumb out of the way. My brother Joe and I were running neck and neck on scoring with a rifle right up to the last, and then he beat me. There were 3 points difference. He made sharpshooter and I made marksman. I did make sharpshooter later on in my hitch. The time spent on the rifle range was in February 1942, and you guessed it, it turned cold. Our platoon was staying in pyramid tents, and the only heat we had was a little kerosene heater with a very small wick in it. It didn't put out enough heat to keep the heater warm. One night, one of the men in the tent was determined to sleep warm that night. He put on all the cover he had, spread his clothes on top of that, and then wrapped his poncho around all of that, making it like a sleeping bag. Unknown to him, the poncho would not breathe and acted like a barrier, keeping the air out. When he woke up, he was wet with sweat and with a sheet of ice between the poncho and bed covering. He didn't try that anymore.